Yes, people. So what do the top 1% of Airbnb owners do? Firstly, they don't call it Airbnb. They call it short-term rentals, right? And he's going to go into exactly why that is. But the premise of this video is quite simple. Gurus online, people online, they want to talk about Airbnb. They want to talk about the ideal where you take on a property, you put it on Airbnb for £100 a night, you get paid, let's say, $3,000 in the month through revenue and bookings. You pay off the rent, pay bills, pay cleaning, and then you have £1,000 clean, hard, cold cash. Now, they don't even speak about OTA fees. That's the first thing. So OTA fees are that Airbnb takes a commission, and that's pretty important because putting it at £100 a night means you're only actually getting paid £85. So that is a big factor. But like I did say, the point of this video is to inform you and to make sure that you know what you're talking about. And if someone approaches you saying certain things or making certain claims, you actually are informed. So I'm going to pass it on and he's going to speak about step one.
So for step one, do you really believe successful people will leave a property on just the platform Airbnb and wait and just let it get booked out by the natural demand? No, this is definitely not the case at all. The reason you call it a short-term rental business rather than an Airbnb business is because we don't just rely on Airbnb. The 1% do not do that. If you just rely on Airbnb, you're leaving out so many different parts of the market. Leaving out the booking.com traffic, the VRBO traffic, and that's only two. There's so many other OTAs which you should be listing the property on. And if you want to be part of that 1%, you cannot be passive and reactive. You need to be proactive. You need to proactively find people. There are people who need accommodation who aren't on Airbnb that you need to find. There are people who have to stay at hotels, for example, and you need to find out them people. How are you going to do that? There are ways. I'll give you one. You go to the car park for the hotel. You spot a contractor van, for example. Don't just walk past it and think, yeah, you know what, it's staying at a hotel. No, that's not the case. A successful person, what we'd do is that we'd see the number or any contact details on that van and we'd let them know that we have accommodation in the area. We have accommodation which we're more than happy to allow their contractors to stay in, and we'd do that as soon as we get home. Like it's not a waiting game. You don't wait. You don't just leave it on Airbnb, just let it like sit back and relax. No, that's not the case. Once you have the property and once you list it, that's where the real game starts. The game doesn't start once you have your keys, that's it, you make your money. No, not at all. That is what you're led to believe, and that is wrong. And that's hopefully what we're going to change in this video today as well. What you also want to do is you want to prioritize your reviews and stuff like that. You don't want to let the guests just leave the property just because. If you actually do that, then you're missing out on so much. When the guest leaves, you want to pest them, you want to call them, you want to drop them messages to leave a review. Why should they leave a review? For a discount on a future stage. You need to think smart and you need to think logically as to how you're going to beat the market. You're not going to beat the market by leaving the property on Airbnb. That's not the case. You need to chase reviews. You also need to chase outbound as well. As I mentioned before, there are people who are in need of accommodation who will not find you if you just stay on Airbnb. You need to find them proactively by reaching out to different people who would need accommodation in the area and let them know that you have accommodation. Because if they do not know that you have accommodation, how are they gonna ever contact you if they need somewhere to stay? So it should never be that on the day you get a booking, if you know what I mean. If it's the 16th and you have no bookings for the future, then you've already lost the game. You're already not part of that 1%. So if you want to be part of that top 1%, you need to be proactive. That's the main thing. You need to try anything, get scrappy with it, find a way to get somebody in that property. No matter who you bring into that property, make sure you basically try your hardest to do that. Because again, if people don't know about your property's existence, how are you going to get bookings? So if you only have it on Airbnb, only people that are on Airbnb will know about it. You need to contact more people and you need to put it on different websites, different platforms, which will let more people basically know about your property and about its existence. Because again, if they don't know it exists, how are they going to book it, right? So that's how the top 1% operates in terms of being not passive and being proactive. And he's basically going to explain now another bit of what the top 1% does that other people do not do.
The top 1% makes real profit. Right, and now how is that done? It is done through two things. So you want to get lots of direct bookings, and your direct bookings, you want them to be long bookings. So the top 1%, do you think we wake up open our channel manager, look at our calendars and see gaps? Absolutely not. I would not settle for it, and he definitely wouldn't settle for it, okay? The way that you play it is you have long-term direct bookings all the time because you struck relationships with companies. When you're an accommodation provider, it's not about the leisure stays. You want to look at every single aspect of the market and exactly who you can help. Every single location has way more demand than supply in terms of short-term rentals, especially good ones. Like short-term rental is one branch, but if you're top 1%, you have a good short-term rental. So your goal is now to get someone in there for a long term, and you want them to pay directly to you. Why do they need to pay direct? Because they're not paying commission at that point. So you're saving yourself 15%. You could also give them a discount. So that's amazing. It makes getting the security deposit a lot easier as well. If they pay direct, they can just, it's a lot quicker and easier that way. So paying direct is just amazing. It's under your control. They sign your agreements and stuff like that. Obviously, if you're insured, they still have the right to go and challenge your booking to, property redress schemes, third parties, whatever they need to do. But booking direct basically saves you a lot of money and effectively churns out more profit. Now, how else do you churn out profit? You cut costs. How do you cut costs? You get long stays. What do you mean by that? So if you look at my Instagram, and his Instagram, what you'll see is a lot of long bookings, like 30 plus nights, 40 nights, 50 nights, 6 months, just under 6 months actually. And the reason that they're good is two things. So firstly, you basically, in terms of admin, as an Airbnb operator, you help them on the first night when they're first coming in and they're a bit unusual and that they don't really know what's going on. After that, once they're comfortable with the property, they basically won't speak to you again. I'm not saying that we like to neglect our guests or anything like that. I'm just saying that it makes it a lot more passive as an owner. We have a VA who checks up on our guests as much as he possibly can. So it makes it a lot easier when it's the same guests in there the whole time, because it just means that it's a lot more passive anyway. So if you have the same guests in there also and they're staying for a long time, what are they going to do? They're going to make it their own. They're not going to damage it. They're not going to trash it. And most importantly, they won't need cleans all the time. So you get to save out on cleaning fees. Obviously, they might want linen changes and perhaps monthly cleans and stuff like that. Depends on what they want. But most of the time, from our experience, they don't want that. So that's also good for you. Obviously, when you have a property, you want to maintain it. You want to make sure it's all in good spec, which is why you should inspect it, of course. But in terms of saving out on cleaning fees, saving out on admin time, saving out on commission, direct bookings and long bookings are amazing. We literally open our calendars and we can see our properties booked for months in advance, meaning that we just get to focus on leverage. We get to focus on adding leverage to the business, adding more units, adding more clients, like that sort of thing. So that's exactly what we specialize in. We've spent way over 30,000 in education, making sure that we know more about this space. Like it's not just whack it on Airbnb. This is what the gurus tell you, right? They'll just tell you, get a property, put an Airbnb, job's done. That is so wrong. It's so far from that, because there's people like us who are coming in the game and want it all. And we're not the only ones. There's loads of people who have specialized. They've learned exactly how to run the business well. And what that means is you're going up against people who have crazy systems. They're ready to outgun you. And what you now need is the right system. So you need long-term booking systems. You need direct booking systems. You need listing optimization systems, and that's exactly what we specialize in. So if you are interested in learning more about that, if you're an Airbnb operator and you want to squeeze more out of your bookings and your units, and you just want to make your portfolio hit that dream goal that you got when you that you had when you first got them, by all means book a call down below. Our link should be there, and it's basically wide open. Whenever we're free, we put that on the calendar and you can book it. And yeah, that's everything from me. Is there anything that you want to add?
Just on top of what he said it, but I thought I'd put in a little quote. Talent will never be obsession. So what that means in this instance basically is that even if you have an amazing property, the pictures are so nice, it's such a good location, if you are in competition with people who every day are doing outreach and reaching out to people who need accommodation, you will get slumped. Your property will be out of the market very quickly. So just because you have a nice property, nice pictures, well edited, good colors, all of that, good amenities inside, you will get beat by the person who is doing the outreach, who's doing the harder task, putting it on more OTAs and stuff like that. He basically said it. I thought I'd summarize it in a better way. But yeah, that's all from me as well. Hope you did enjoy that. The call link is in the description below. So please get that booked in if you are looking to squeeze as much as you can out of your Airbnb, and we will see you in the next video.